Are we back? Can you all hear me? Okay. Big peepee. Why am I a little off center? Anyway. Shalom, everybody. Welcome. Thank you. Oh my God, my camera. Focus. Focus. Ford Focus, baby. Let's go. Is it quiet? Okay, hold up. Let me just. Mic settings. Oh no, wait, hello. Default. Ew. Microphone. There we go. Speaker. Yeah, okay. I'll leave it like that. How about now? Are we sexy now? Ooh, and we got the camera back. Okay. Redux. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's stream. I'm doing a random stream. This is more for the future and posterity, if you will, if one wills it. Why am I making this? Also, well, why am I making this is because I wanted to try and simul-stream. So this is going to Facebook as well. It was supposed to go to Twitter, but then I hit live and it's like, you need a premium account. And I'm like, oh, blue check marks, win again. Alas. Howdy, chat. Oh, by the way, I should bring up the chat so we can say hello to YouTube, chat. We got Out Tuition. We got Praise the Sun. Homeros Machine. Another guy using my my thumbnail. What the fuck am I missing? Oh no, it's live. Yes, it is live. It is live. So why am I doing this? I wanted to have just a little retrospect, a little talky talk about this image right here. This image, this is the image that started it all. Let me just get rid of the, oh, wait, maybe, no. Let me get rid of the chat for a second. Unless, show on stage, can I move you? I don't know how to use StreamYard, dog. Whatever. I'll just leave it there for now. So, this image is important. Because when I started on YouTube, I was like, meh. But then I was like, no, I want to be the J-Reg of occultism. Still hasn't worked out. But at the same time, I started making these videos, and they took fucking forever. Making these occult political compass parts was insanely long. Insanely long time. Just the first, and I was like, interesting, when you look at it, I was like, which one should I do first? Because if you think about it, it's actually kind of tough. Because it's like, which I started with this quadrant, but when you talk about the OTA, it's like, oh, they're a version of the OTO. What's the OTO? Oh, that's down here. Okay, should I start with this one? And it's like, maybe I should have, but then it's like, somewhere a bit weird. Maybe this one's more traditional. Maybe I should have started down here and gone up. But alas, I ended up starting in the top left quadrant. And my whole kind of thing was, I really wanted to do this all as one giant video, but it just wasn't going to pan out. It took too long. And not only that, but I also just wanted to kind of do it to boost my subs, dog. When I made the first one, I had zero subs. No, I didn't have 0 subs, but I think maybe I had 1,000 or 2,000. I was, on the down low. I didn't have many followers. So a lot of people came to this channel from this one meme, from me just talking about this one meme. So hence why I got to and I got to give it to freaking Jack Steel Barbarian, Jack Steel or Vanilla Master, whatever tag he goes by. I wanted to bring him on and interview him and ask him about this, but he was kind of squeamish. Nonetheless, I talked to him in the comments, and he just seemed to be just some 4chaner on X who, just by browsing X and downloading PDFs, made this image. And it's a fantastic image. It's so freaking good. Look at, just let me remove the comments for a second. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye to the chat, YouTube. You just look at the detail of it. Like political compass memes rarely even have a border like this. Like, look at the border, the details. You got QAnon Jesus. You got some, you got some diagrams. Some, what is it, Vril freaking? I guess you got a Kabbalah down here. You got Thug Life, Prince Charles. Just all, you got the, what is it, the complete Sefer Zohar books just down there at the bottom. It's insane how detailed this was. And then, like, look, and it like makes like logical sense, like left hand path, right hand path. He's attached the Apollonian, the Dionysian. I just remember looking at this and being like, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. And when I was looking at this was around the time when, you know, Wendigoon was popping off. I'll bring back chat. Wendigoon was like popping off and like going through the conspiracy theory iceberg. And I'm like, why didn't I talk about this? Because I remember when this was posted, this every now and then makes the rounds. Before I started making my videos, this would make the rounds, and every now and then people would post it and be like, I know most of these, but some of these I'm like, oh. And people in the comments would always like go through it, or like some people would be like, oh yeah, what's this and what's this and what's this abbreviation here? And it's true for me as well. Like, I knew a bunch of these, but even then, I had to research some of them. I was like, you know, I didn't know Obot off the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids. I didn't know that off the top of my head. Got a Group P. I'm like, well, what the fuck's this? But like, so I was looking at this and I was like, this will be, this is an amazing thing to like do a YouTube deep dive on. And I was kind of still doing, I was like, just going, oh, maybe I'll do a faceless, maybe I'll do that, add some memes in. Yeah, if only there was a place to test you on the compass. If you're not sure what you, but I mean, the compass itself is slightly imperfect as you like go deep into it. You know, pro demiurge, and there's the fraternity of Saturn on the technically pro demiurge side, or Octra is on the right hand path. And when you like really read into it, it's like, it's like, bruh, this should be left hand. This guy should be left hand path. So it itself isn't necessarily perfect, but the detail is immense. Carefully crafted wojaks for each little district. Each has its own little symbol as well, which all corresponds to it. You got the names. Some of them are abbreviated. So like OTS fucked me up. I mentioned this in the video. Like, this completely fucked me up. And it's Order of the Trapezoid. Finally, I figured it out. Like, why the hell would you? Why is it? Anyway. I mean, what's the longest one here? Ramakrishna Mission or Ashtar Galactic Command? Those are long titles. Even local metaphysical shop owner, you could have like ordered Trapezoid Dog. You didn't need to go OTS. Like, that completely fucked me up when I was looking for this. How we found this in the end with my friend is we just like got this image here. What is it? The wolf angle, I think this rune is called. But with the Ouroboros, we just like print screened and cropped it and just reversed image searched just that, and it kept on coming up with freaking Boyd Rice. And when you first look, I looked him up, it was just the guy. But then I was like, nah, this isn't the right thing, and I went off on a huge tangent. But then when I went back to it, I was like, is it Boyd Rice? And then I looked. If only I scrolled down a little bit, because then it was like, if I scroll down, when I scrolled down, then there were pictures of Boyd with the aviators on. I was like, oh, wait a sec. Hero. Sorry, I hit the little wire on my freaking microphone again. I want to slam down. But yeah, and it's like freaking Boyd Rice, and I'm like, if only I scrolled down and saw more pictures of him, and there was one specific picture, I guess a famous picture, with him with these aviators on, and I was like, oh. Just like the pointing Wojaks, I was like, oh. Like, if I finally got, let me take this off as well. Edit avatar. Wait. I keep disappearing, that's why. I don't need the friggin', just have a normal background. Wait a second. That didn't work. Wait a second. Visual effects, camera. Bruh. General, visual effects. None. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Top left quadrant. Refresh me on aeonic futurance. Yeah, and so let me just go through and just mention as well. So I made these. I'll go through each of the quadrants and like talk about, and all the little squares, and I'll talk about kind of like my thoughts on each and what I got wrong. And because it's like I studied it and then wrote a script, and then as you're kind of making it, you hear more things, and it's like, like I have an opinion. The script I wrote for the Vril Society, I changed my opinion on, and I made a little video on that. But one thing I want to say about this is when I first made this quadrant, this top left quadrant, and I've made the part 1, I didn't care about the music choices because I wasn't even monetized. I wasn't even, you know what? I must have been under 2,000. I must have been under 1,000 subs. I must have not even been 1,000 sub channel, dog. That's how early this was. I think maybe this one pushed me over. But first and second, part 1 and part 2. By the way, part 2 is my favorite. But part 2, I fucked up because I recorded the different squares like separately, and just for Octra and Priory of Sion, completely fucking randomly, something like that must have happened, and my Logitech, my fucking Blue Yeti mic disconnected, and I was just recording off of like the little headphone thing, and I didn't notice. I just didn't notice while editing. So it got to the end, and I was like, when I uploaded it and I was re-listening to it, I was like, what the fuck? And there's this huge sound quality drop. When it gets to Octra, I'm like, oh, fuck, it sucked. So that's one thing. And yeah, so, and with the 1 and 2, with part 1 and 2, both these parts, I didn't care about the music choices because I wasn't monetized. So when I did get monetized, I've gotten $0. I've made zero bank from either of parts 1 and 2. And part 3, I was monetized, but I fucked up. I completely fucked up. And one of the things, and I just kind of like, oh, whatever. So part 3 actually got copyright struck as well. I lost from both part 1 and both part 1, part 2, and part 3 has made me no money. So when you look at all of the parts together, maybe I think all the parts, what is it, 3 and 4 are about 10K views, and part 1 and 2 are about 25 each, 25,000. And these are both 10K. So what's that, about 60, 70,000? That's $100 at least. And I'm only really monetized for the 4th part. For the 4th part, I went fucking, yeah, I fumbled the bag massive. Well, I mean, part 1 and 2, I just didn't care because I wasn't monetized. Part 3, I fumbled for sure. Part 4, I was fucking autistic about it. I was like going through. There were so many things I wanted to use for Orbod, like the Druid music. There was some really good like meme songs for that. And also same with Groupie because it was Russian. There were so many things I could have done. But in the end, I was like, nah. In the end, I found, and the only one that when I first uploaded it, it actually did get copy struck because out of all of these songs that I used for Golden Dawn, I ended up, the first time I uploaded it, I used, the song Golden Brown, Crispy Light. I found a slow reverb TikTok version. And when I just upload, because I always check by downloading the song and uploading it on the video channel, uploading it on my channel, seeing if it gets a copyright struck. And it didn't get copyright struck. And it was like, okay, sweet. Maybe like the slow and the reverb makes it so it doesn't get picked up. So I had that as the Golden Dawn song. But then it got picked up in the main vid, and I was like, what the fuck? So I basically just, in the end, video game music and anime music seems to be, anime music sometimes, but most of the time, if it's like an OST, it should go through fine. It should go through fine. And that's what I ended up doing with the Golden Dawn. Both Chaldea and Golden Dawn are just anime opening songs. I think it was, the anime Saint Seiya, for those watching. the anime Saint Seiya. There's an OST track from the Saint Seiya anime called Gold, and I use that for the Golden Dawn. So that's the song that begins at the beginning of the Golden Dawn. So I made this entire thing, and originally I was like, okay, gonna go into 4 parts, and at the end, for the 4th part, I'm gonna actually redo it all. I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-record Octra. I'm going to re-record Prior of Scion. I'm going to remove all of the music that gets copyright struck. And I'm going to put different songs and all the others and maybe change a few things here and there. I'm going to make part 4 is going to actually be the entire thing again, a huge 40-minute thing. And maybe I put some more memes because also my editing changed. Like I made part 1 really early on. Like part 4 is pretty cream of the crop. If I don't say so. I finally figured out I can use the Tenor site and download GIFs as MP4s. And it just makes the meme game far superior. But like, you know, adding in some more stuff or changing some certain things in the first couple, I think I could have made it even better. And it would have been one video and it would have been massive and it would have been amazing. My computer exploded. My computer fucking exploded. After part 3, I think it was, what was the last video I did? Let me just look on my account, actually. Let me just see. Part 4 is a magnum opus, Lamau. I'm glad you liked it. What's for comment below. What's your favorite part? What was your favorite part? But no, what was it? It was, God, I published so much crap. Let me see. I was already doing the Gurdjieff live streams. I think. You know what? I think it might have been. Was it the Master of the Margaritas or was it the Priestess of Atlantis one? It was sometime after 3. Now that I'm thinking about it. I think I managed to record it on that computer, but then I managed to take it off before the computer fully exploded. Yeah, fuck. But by the time I was doing the Gurdjieff, you're doing self-observation wrong vid, by the time I did that, I was definitely on this new Mac computer. But it's basically, long story short, computer explosion. I lost all of the assets. And so this is why part 4 took so long to come out, because I was like completely demoralized. And I was like, fuck. So, and I was just like, oh, whatever. And, but then, you know, just recently I was like, maybe I should, so I started making it in secret. I had the script, but I did the recordings. And then I just slowly started working on it. And if you're a Gnostic Hierophant YouTube member, you know what was going on behind the scenes. Because a part of the secret Telegram group with just YouTube members, whenever I would make a part, I think a couple of the parts I rendered separately. Like the I think it was Fraternity of Saturn and Theosophy Society. Like I just uploaded that in the little chat so they could all see. So I was like, guys, so they were the only ones. They were the only ones who knew I was working on it. Everyone else was like, man, he's just gone silent. I like shitty IQ YouTube videos. So part 1, Lamau. Part 2 did go hard, and I think was When I Found You, but part 4 is great for sure, yeah. Part 2 is my favorite part, just because that's probably got the bunch of like some of my favorite things. And also just like some of the more, I know, schizophrenic stuff is in part 2. What is the Octra group? That is the Order of the Knights Thyroidal. It's in the Republic of Argentina or something. It's got some weird, why is my camera being gay? It's got some weird acronym, but it's Spanish, bruh. It's a South American neo-Gnostic order that did some weird stuff. You paralleled Hideaki Anno making the Evangelion rebuild films. The 4th one took you forever and had setbacks, lol. I still haven't seen that, by the way. I made that Evangelion explain video ages ago, and it's like, when part 4 comes out, we'll all see. And then it came out, and I just haven't gotten around to watching it. Bruh. But yeah. So now, let's just go through some of them all and just like retrospects. So like the OTA Order of the Astarte with Poke Runyon. You know what was, and it's really crazy because some things happened when I published these parts, because I don't know, like, you know, it's only 20,000 views. Maybe, well, what is it, 70,000 all up, I said? But, you know, this is a niche subject. So sometimes it has led me to wonder, like with some of these people who are still alive, I'm like, did they watch my video? Because like Poke Runyon did nothing. He's done nothing on his YouTube channel. But after I made like part 1 and I was telling people about it and doing all this kind of stuff, he all of a sudden put a trailer on his, what is it, YouTube channel, uploaded a trailer with him being like, ooh, he's such a fucking boomer as well. He's like an old pervy man boomer. He's got good books and he's a good occultist, but it's like, he's got that, like, you know, the pervy boomer from the 70s who's like, you know, he's wise, has some interesting things to say, but every now and then he'll be like, and let me tell you about the ladies from back then. I'm like, he's got like gross old man feel every now and then. He switches from like kind of funny, crazy old man to like pervy old man, like really quick. I'm sure he's good in real life. And I'm sure he's like, I'm sure he's not problematic in real life, but he's just got that energy. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, don't, but just be mysterious. Don't be weird and crazy, lol. But yeah, he like made a video advertising some of the books that I mentioned in that part. I'm like, yeah, go read his like Solomon Scrying book. And then he made a trailer for like, buy the edition. And I'm like, huh. And I'm not, maybe he hasn't seen this and he has no idea who I am. But in my mind, I'm like, maybe because of my video, people started looking it up. And that all of a sudden got more views, or he noticed that it was like he got more royalties or something because people were buying the book again. And he was like, huh. And so maybe in my mind, I'm like, did I have some kind of effect? And he saw the sales go up, and so he made an ad for it again. Like, what? And then what was the song I used for that? Break on from the other side. Like that was, and I found a cover band that was singing that song. So it's not the original, whatever fucking band that is. I forgot. Who is that? Let me just look it up. It's on the tip of my brain. Break on through. I'm gonna kick myself. Who the fucking The Doors? Break on Through by The Doors, but it was a cover band singing it, and so the YouTube thing didn't kick in. But it kicked in for other things. But when finally I got monetized and it showed like this video cannot is copyright struck. It didn't strike that. It struck like three different songs, but like not that one. So I was like, oh, okay. Guess the cover band thing worked. And then next, the 09A, absolute fucking cringe fest. Jesus Christ. That's don't want to spend too much time on that. I think in retrospect, if I was to do it again, maybe I'd talk about this guy, David Matt, or whatever his name is. Because there does seem to be some weird things about the 09A. Like if I'm to like talk about it, the Order of the Nine Angles, it seems like it did start off originally as a genuine thing that was supposed to explore British paganism. And then, Welsh paganism, that native kind of thing. And there's a little of an edgelord thing in a lot of pagan communities where because they're pagan, they want to be anti-Christian. And so they inevitably do this weird Satan thing. But it's like somewhere along the line, the feds just picked it up. And 100% it got like, they glow. These boys glow. Oh boy, do they glow. And just kind of weird stuff. And it seems like, I wouldn't even say, and it's hard to say, like, is there legitimate ones around still? Are there original 09A? Because it's like, if the feds join and then they act all edgelord, then you're going to get a bunch of people joining because they want to be edgelords too. And then that kind of pollutes the waters further. And it's like, which one's the real one? You think European paganism now is fed stuff? Not all of it, but there's definitely feds in some. If anything gets big enough, there's going to be feds being like, hello. I know he's known for the crimes, right? Well, that's just it. it seems they went off the rails and went edgelord, and now there are some things that attribute it, and there's some weird kind of things. It's just like, but is that the real Onana? And then this founder guy, he converted to Islam for a short period of time, and then he's like doing other things, and it's like he's impossible to find. There's some weird things about him. And did he really found the O9A? And so there is some genuinely, like, behind it all, there's some really, actually some kind of interesting things about it. But it's like, once again, in a fucking shitpost video where you have 8 other things to talk about, how deep do you go? I mainly just talked about the Fed posting part of it. And it does seem to, like, what the writing in this was like trying to avoid MI6. I have no idea what that's about. Like, really, like MI6 was trying to hunt them down. Because then, it's a British, it started off originally as a British order, but they're more international now. And then there was got into the Orthodox Church. And the only thing I could find about that is it's not true at all. Like, the Orthodox Church we think is one thing, but there's actually some, what would you call it, non-linear, like they're not part of the Orthodox patriarchs at all, but they call themselves Orthodox churches. And in Montenegro, their Orthodox church was more of a weird nationalist movement. And so it was just a kind of a breakaway thing. And one of the guys who was like some deacon, some sissy boy in the Montenegrin church, was like O9A posting on his Facebook page or something. And it's like, oh, yeah. Everything at any time is Fed stuff. Yes, it's all. Some things glow, but some things shine, and that's what you gotta. That's what we gotta work out. Okay, don't turn away from the light, but just remember, there's a difference between glow, and there's a difference between shine. But with the O9A, I wouldn't recommend anyone join it or congregate around it or read its literature or try to interact with anyone from it. It's because of the Feds, it's too far gone. Maybe there's some branch of it that's original and legit. Good for them. I wouldn't trust anyone claiming to be that. And I would just stay the hell away from them. But now, Ots. Fucking Boyd, and this is another one as well. There was a page online with like Order of the Trapezoid. Sometimes I like. This was weird. This is one of those ones where it's like, did Boyd watch my video? Like, there was this page that described Order of the Trapezoid, which I can't find now, which I got a lot of my info off of. Also, the fucking, that bit in the minute where it's like I have the linear notes from his album, and I like read it out. That got taken off of the page I originally found, and I'm like, I can't find that anymore. I'm sure it's online somewhere, but the original page where I got that from, gone, edited. The original page where I like found some stuff about the Order of Trapezoid, gone. And then like a new one appeared, and it seemed like Boyd was back with a new order at one point, like Order of the Trapezoid. It's like he was trying to restart it to like get some funds going or something. It was this really weird thing, and I was like, huh? What? Huh? But yeah, you cannot find anything anymore on the internet. Yeah, it is what it is. Remember back in the day, guys, when you could just find anything? Those were the days. I mean, sometimes it's the search engine. For everyone who hates Google, you can use Yandex, Yandex. It's a Russian search engine. So, instead of giving all of your data to Google, you give it to the Russians. Let's not mince fucking words and say, oh, it's an amazing thing made by free people who are free-minded. No, it's made by Russians. But it has a completely different algo. Like, how on Google now, I remember it used to be like, I want to watch Naruto stream free. And if you do that on Google now, it comes up with nothing. Or it says there are some search things that cannot be displayed in your because of copyright, blah, blah, blah. Yandex doesn't have that. You go Yandex and you type in Naruto stream, it gives you a fucking site. I mean, it'll also give you a whole bunch of fucking... It'll give you a bunch of viruses, I'm sure, but it is what it is. I can't find the tweet Lil Nas X made on his Nicki Minaj Stan account that said, who started the rumor that I would bottom for Drake, which is funny as fuck and very unfortunate. Okay. There's a lot of things that can't be found anymore. Alas. Alas. Now, Dragon Roche. Also, I should say, like, out of all of these, which one would you like be? Like, in each quadrant. And for this one, it's kind of hard. Let me just get rid of the comments so I can kind of see everything. This one's tough because Dragon Roche is really up there. Like, overall, Dragon Roche is hot stuff. Like, PP big. But, you know, Tafoni and OTO, you know what? I wouldn't join. But I would read their literature. I still haven't read any Kenneth Grant despite making this. Despite meeting people now who have, like, online, who have read Kenneth Grant, and I asked them about it, and they're like, oh yeah, it was your video that mentioned him that got me interested in him, and I started reading. I'm like, oh shit, what? I would actually go for Dragon Rouge. Dragon Rouge seems so fucking solid and cool. Here, group for reals, easy peasy. Down here, it's actually all gay. I hate all of these things. But maybe OTO, if I found a good lodge. And then over here, you got Fraternity of Saturn or GD. Fraternity of Saturn. I mean, I don't speak German, so I guess it would be GD. But Dragon Rouge, I was so impressed by. Super impressed. Thomas Carlson, just Giga Chad, fucking pioneering and making it like a magic system. After he had some spiritual experience with a red dragon, it's kind of sick. Like, it's awesome. And I have no idea also what this is. Like, someone just put it, what is it, the Zalgo filter or whatever it is, and like made it extra spooky. But that's another one as well that changed. Like, a lot of, you know, in my video, I have like, here are the 7 principles of Dragon Rouge. He deleted that off of his site and changed his fucking site after my video. So I can't like find that anywhere. I'm like, what? It's like I made it up. But anyway, do you reckon the deep state occult archons have advanced AI systems sweeping all these occult groups for information so as to create the ultimate AI prophetic esoteric doctrine? No. Because AI has read all literature, so it would have read all esoteric literature anyway. A lot of modern esoteric groups, they're still based off of older works. Like most modern esoteric groups base their shit off the Golden Dawn, right? But what does the Golden Dawn base itself off of? Old translations of Latin shit, which AI has probably gone through, like Kabbalah Denudata, as in like the Kabbalah Unveiled by Baron Rosenroth, a lot of Eliphas Levi, Enochian stuff. So it's like it's already there on the AI. You don't need AI to like sweep and make the deep state occult archon. I mean, sure, they have AI systems sweeping, and I'm sure they get stuff from occult groups. I'm sure some occult groups maybe like recruitment grounds or testing grounds for certain things, but meh. So much pop culture has been lost, alas. You'd be the metaphysical shop owner because you're a normie. Nah, bro, if you're here, you're not normie. Like, which one would you want to join, though? A Dragon Rouge for real furries? No, they aren't furries at all. I mean, wait, does having a fetish for Agronians from Skyrim make you a furry? Because they're not furry, they're lizard people. Is that technically a furry? Dragon Rouge near to the top, though. Yeah, for reals. The only justifiable group join is... Okay. Who is coping with their mechanisms? Me right now, Spirefox. Me right now. Some things glow, some things shine. Hey, hello. Was it the Richard Ruck, The Path of the Mysteries, Arctos chapter? That's a fucking idea. That's the name of my book. Cinnabar Enjoyer? That's the name of my book. The Path of the Mysteries. And it's going to be published by Arctos. Thank you. Thank you so much. Some things glow, other things shine. Abased. Lots of Russians, German, Chinese books are not scanned for digital form. Yeah, probably. Which is why they've got their own AIs. Which is why there's going to be an AI war, lol. Yes, you're willing that book into existence. The Path of the Mysteries by Occult. Now, Dragon Rouge based. What song did I use for Dragon Rouge? I think like the band Dragon Rouge. Also, there's a band Dragon Rouge. That was the other thing that was based. It's like I'm not sure if he founded before, but like he's a musician as well. But it's like there's a band called Dragon Rouge, which is associated with Dragon Rouge, and like one of their songs basically is the song I got. Tiffony and OTO. What did I use for that? Oh, the fucking Shadow Wizard Money Gang, and that got copyright struck. Yeah, that was one of the ones. Shadow Wizard Money Gang, great fucking song. It was a fantastic song for specifically this. But yeah, Tiffany and OTO, pretty based as well. Kenneth Grant seems interesting, very interesting as a guy. The connection of Lovecraft and Crowley, where he connects them, where they totally met and knew each other. Nah, they may... I don't think Lovecraft would have known about Crowley's stuff, but Crowley may have known about Lovecraft stuff. But Lovecraft also had some interesting things going for him. And there's this whole... Kenneth Grant makes this connection with, like, you know, Crowley doing this ritual and then Lovecraft writing this book. And Lovecraft having this idea and Crowley mirroring this idea. And it's like... people want them to be a connection, but it's actually way more esoteric when there's not a connection, because it seems like the thing that was influencing Lovecraft was also speaking to Crowley. And that's the kind of thing, like, you know, Kenneth Grant's got some really interesting theories around there. Richard, you're sort of like, you're like the sorting hat from Harry Potter. You! Golden Dawn now. Where would the Shadow Money Gang be on this compass? I mean, I guess the Tiffony and I used their song for the Tiffony and OTO. It just seems like the Wojak made for Kenneth Grant was just chipper, and I was like, yes. Anyway, Mimeticus was weird as well, because there's a lot of other weird meme magic stories which I could have gone into. I just went into like the main big one with Keck. But also this thing here, this is why I wanted to get like Jack Steele Barbarian on, because he has the, pushing chaos magic to its limits is the little script there. But then it has a, a 4chan post number. Was it quadruple 783 and then dubs, you got dub twos. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I have no idea. I tried to research that. I'm like, is this a reference to a post on X? Like, or on another image board, like maybe 8chan? But I just fucking could not find what this meant. So I just didn't talk about it. And I'm like, oh, someone else figure it out for me. Whoa, surprise 2A. Hey, Nulu! Sup? Yeah, this is just a completely random stream I'm doing. No idea how long it's going to go. But we're 40 minutes in, and I haven't even gotten past the first quadrant. Now, what song did I use for Mimeticists? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. A Chatelet. Based Chatelet. When I re-listened to Chatelet, I found a 80s fucking synth remix of Chatelet, and just would have that playing in the background. Sometimes like editing, just loved that song. Now, Shinriko. Anti-Demiurge seems like it. Left-hand path seems like it. I don't like this because I feel like it's just cringe and fake and gay. And it seems to me, because I've seen things like this where a guy arises and he has a little bit of riz, a little bit of charisma, but he's got the int as well. He's put all of his stats into an int charisma build where he reads broadly. Like he reads a little bit of Taoist, a little bit of Kundalini, a little bit of Taoist alchemy, a little bit of Tibetan Buddhism. And they can make a system that seems coherent, but it's not. But because it's so broad, when you enter it, you get this feeling like, oh, I have questions, this system answers it. But the other questions that haven't been answered, they'll probably answer it later on. I just need to stay long enough. That's the kind of feel I get from Aum Shinriko. It's like he just completely syncretized, just off the cuff, made up a system, and then just kind of stayed one lesson ahead. You know, like there's some people who you hear stories about old stories of, like, you know, in the 50s, like someone going to university but not being able to pay, so they do tutorials and they take a class on the Monday and then do it, and then they'd run a tutorial on the Wednesday. So they take the class, write bunches of notes, go through their notes on Tuesday, and then they do a tutorial on Wednesday for other kids going through that class on like a Thursday or Friday. And it's like, and then they get paid for that and then use that to pay for their for like going through uni. It's like, that's how I feel Aum Shinriko was. That's how I feel it like it was. I don't feel like it was inspired, or maybe it was inspired by his schizophrenia, but he clearly drew from real sources, and because there was a little bit of truth in there, that was enough to hook him. And then they'd kind of stay for all of the apocalyptic kind of schizophrenia. When you have truth and falsehood mixed together, it's this really weird tactile combo, because the truth props up the lies, but the lie just adds the glitter. It adds a little shine to that glow. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I feel about Aum Shinriko. I feel like it's a completely dead thing, where you'd be better off just going into a proper Kundalini or just studying Taoist alchemy. But the people who do it are probably really into it and like, no, it's incredible. We have everything. Alchemy, Kabbalah. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. I guarantee you fucking don't. So that's what I think about that. That's what I think. Not using Dragon Force. Sorry, I missed that out tuition. That would have been a good idea, actually, for Dragon Roche. You know, that would have been a really good idea, and I didn't care about the music back then. That was a fumble. I will admit, I should have used Dragon Force for Dragon Roche. Real. There was a culture of predicting your post number in the post. Was that it? Yeah, I know. Like, I don't, but that's just it with the mimeticist. Is this a thing? But then if that was a big thing, surely that would be remembered. And like people used to freaking screenshot and archive legendary threads, lol. And like, there used to be a 4chan archive. I think it got taken down, but there's fucking bunches of archives now, and fucking 4chan on Reddit and shit. Surely someone would know, but I couldn't find anything. Chart missed First Earth Battalion from Men Who Stare at Ghosts. The thing about that is Jack Steele Barbarian made this off of reading literature. So he read all of these things. He read stuff from all of these places, whereas that battalion was a purely military organization, and he wouldn't have been able to get his hands on it. Like, maybe a CIA remote viewing thing should have been around here, but he just didn't put it on. Now, Aum Shinriko, cringe tier. If we were doing a tier list right now, I'd put that in cringe tier. Fuck them. Local metaphysical shop owner. I just feel bad for this guy. And then the Aeonic Futurist. I was proud with this one because when, like, I was making this the first time, when I was making this part 1 video, it was so choppy. But by the time it got to the end, I was like in a flow state. And there was some, I don't know, I liked it. I enjoyed making the Aeonic Futurist bit. Still remember the guy who got 777 saying Trump will win in the Keck thread on poll. Holy shit. That happened? Damn. Refresh me, bro. My memory got wiped of the Aeon Future. Yeah, they were just another cringe organization. They were accelerationists who were like, we want the Great Reset. Because we need a perfect society. Or they were like, Christianity bad. So they had because it was like this thing. They were just an extremists, and I was like, where's the fucking esoteric? The esoteric finally comes in where they had this whole shtick about religion. Like, religion's bad, but metaphysics kind of good, paganism good, but paganism dead. So you should kind of pick different bits from different traditions that you feel like, use your apophatic intuition and forge a syncretic system for yourself. And I was like, but then politic is like, accelerate politics, accelerate to nuclear war, so that we can build the perfect society after the apocalypse. They want the Great Reset, and they want their finger on the button. That's what they wanted. There was some real esoterics happening in the Keck threads. Damn, unironically, Chaos Magicians were running that meme, I think. Based. Very based. Another nihilistic accelerationist group, gotcha. Yeah, they had some kind... And that was the weird contradiction between them. Because it was like they were perennialists and esoteric, but not really. But then they were accelerationist and futurist. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want Lord of the Rings or do you want 40K? Like, it's like they couldn't, to me, it was a bit schizophrenic in the sense that they couldn't decide what they wanted to do. And they just, yeah. You see, these guys are way more problematic than fucking 09A as well. Like, and yet people never mention them. Also, yeah. I know, and I don't think they call themselves Aeonic Future. There's still the manifesto around. You can still read it. But I'm pretty sure, what is it? These guys, the Aeonic Futurists, are also associated with, I believe the term is Atomwaffen. And yeah, there's some weird crossover. I think they call themselves that now, but then I think they disbanded. And I think one of the guys started ghettogaggers.com, which was a porn site that's the reverse of black.com, where it's a white guy having sex with a black girl instead of a black guy with a white girl. There was so much weird fucking shit coming out of those like right-wing things. Wait, when the Egyptian hieroglyph that looks like a guy in front of a computer screen, then an Egyptian frog called Keck was discovered, then the shuttle, yeah, that was so much sync. That was so good. Those days, the memes, also, this was like 2016. Man, remember the crispy memes? The memes from 2016 to like 2020, mwah. Oh, that was a golden age, dog. That was a real golden age. And even after that, like the little Dark Age edits, but everything went sad after that. Like, yeah. And now it's just kind of cringe, and they're trying to do it. It's just kind of cringe now. But 2016 to 220, that was so good. They were so good. Who's the most Aquarian group here, in your opinion? Aquarian group. That's maybe the metaphysical Chopin. I don't have a good... So this is in, because the whole thing about Aquarius is that it's Dionysian. Aquarius has a very Dionysian aspect to it. A Promethean, Dionysian kind of... They're intellectual, but at the same time, they're also weird and like, let's, take drugs and goon. And so, what would I... It's not going to be any of these squares down in the bottom right. Bottom right, all are kind of squares. Bottom left are too fucking weird. So it's either going to be top left or top right. I mean, dragons aren't really Aquarian. Maybe Mimeticus. I'm thinking. Maybe Mimeticus. Damn. I'm gonna go with Mimeticus. Hey, Schizo Heretic, how's it going? How's it going? Now, so that was part one. Part one, made it, done. Used the Berserk theme on the end credits with the monkey listening to to his little earpod things. And at the end, I say like, thanks for watching. And there's like a, I wanted to make it stylized. So I just put some Japanese text there. So it says like, thank you for watching. And the monkey listening to the Berserk music. And I think the Japanese writing just says wet noodles. So it says, thanks for watching, wet noodles in Japanese. And then you have like the Berserk kind of theme and like the monkey. And it's just like, I really enjoyed making those end credits. I enjoyed it. So then we get to part two. Part two with my boys. And I started off with Seele. And I could have done the old... I could have gone into it. I could have been serious. But I was like, you know what? Corey in the house, baby. Does it? And some people... No one mentioned that as well, which not pissed me off, but I'm like, do people even get that joke? Do people get the Corey in the house joke? like for people who don't get the Corey in the house joke, let me set the record straight here. On 4chan, whenever people would have the top animes, there was this whole kind of thing about top anime lists. And I think it was a thing about dunking on, not necessarily Watch Mojo, but like people who would have top anime lists. And there was this whole thing about how Corey in the House is the best anime of all time. And so I fucking did the Corey in the House meme. And like no one mentioned it. And even like one friend I know in real life was like, oh, I loved it. And the music came on. But then he started, what was with the Corey in the House thing? I'm like, he doesn't get it. But yeah, no one, yeah, okay. Good. You understood it, Outtuition? Good. Thank you. It was not for waste then. What is that? Oh yeah, I should bring back I don't know. Prophet, what is it? Prophet Maxi. Hello, friends, my boys. Welcome. So, Loa Kun, thank you. You got it too? Great. Good. I feel better now. So, second quadrant was probably my favorite quadrant. And it had the best stuff in. Probably out of all of these, some of these in the top left quadrant, some are legit and some are just like cringe and weird, like the 09A and Aeonic Futurists. And it's the same thing with the bottom left, where it's like, I know, Temple of Blood, cringe, things like that. And then the bottom right, it's just the squares. And so top right for me, this was my energy here. This is my energy. You got the yellow hats next, based. And I wasn't really sure where to go with this as well. Like, what about him? So I kind of just shoehorned in the whole Guanbo versus CIA. So I just kind of talked about Shambhala and Kala Chakra Tantra. I actually had no idea what Jack Steele Barbarian's idea was with this. Like, what? I guess the anti-demiurge is kind of Buddhist. And then right-hand path, like, yeah, but they're tantric. I didn't know. It was possibly funnier because I didn't get it, Mr. Oreo. So, Ramakrishna Mission as well was like, this was interesting because I've got like Swami Vivekananda's, Raja Yoga book. It's a good book. And I was very impressed as well. I actually appreciate, I don't know about Ramakrishna Mission, but I appreciate Swami Vivekananda after like researching and learning about him. Because the thing about Vivekananda is nowadays when and even back then, gurus come from the East, what did they fucking do? Nothing. They would be like, oh, Westerners, you're so dumb. And like nowadays especially, they're like, Westerners, they don't get it. Just give them some light teachings. And, there's this kind of, people don't want to fucking admit this, especially liberals. But there's a kind of this weird inherent racism where it's like, not even against white guys, just Westerners. Black, white, just Westerners coming into like, an Eastern guru is just being like, yeah, is he really going to get it? Like, and they don't even fucking know. And it's hard because our Western traditions as well have been deracinated. And even our philosophies, when people think philosophy, they think gay analytical philosophy, not schizophrenic German idealism or like weird, obscure, esoteric French philosophers who like secretly are hermeticists. Like they don't know about that shit. And to see Swami Vivekananda come to the West and then be like, no, I'm going to engage in this and read fucking Hegel and Schopenhauer, based. He took the time to study the Western mind at the highest level. Like I've seen papers where like Buddhist lamas will give each other advice and be like, when you go to the West, just read some scientific papers to placate them. Maybe get into psychology. Don't bother with philosophy. Don't read Plato. Like you guys are homos. No offense. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. You guys are cringe. It would be so cool if a Buddhist lama fucking read Plato or read the Hermetica and was like, you Westerners have something too, and like actually got into our traditions. But like, they don't. They have zero respect for the Western traditions. And this is the thing, my criticism about Buddhism in the West. We don't have real Buddhism. We have Western Buddhism, which isn't a thing. It's just slop. And it doesn't produce a Buddha. Western Buddhism isn't a thing because it hasn't produced Buddha. There's no Western Buddha. There's no Western that has attained through Western Buddhism. What's needed isn't Western Buddhism. What's needed is Hermetic Buddhism. Some fucking Buddhist Lama needs to do a Swami Vivekananda and go through fucking German idealism, read some Platonism, read some of our schizophrenic texts and like understand how crazy the fucking West is, and then actually be like, no, I get it. And like, there needs to be a hermetic Buddhism for a Westerner to actually attain. Ironic, because Shopi go to India and learn Eastern traditions and synthesize them back into Europe. Yeah, Shopi, people say that about Shopi, but remember, Shopi also read Jakob Bohm. And, you know, Shopi's idea of will and representation, and the will being kind of this unseen thing, substance, you know, substance. The substance is the thing under the stance is the thing that holds everything up. This is all representation, but what holds everything up behind it's this undulating will. There's the kind of the unground from Jakob Boehmer and things like that. There's some kind of... He was also into Western mysticism, but he also read Eastern mysticism and was like, hey, great. So it's not... Yeah. I see Shopi as more of a crypto-Gnostic than I see him as like a Westerner who went to the East. I know a Groiper who got into Hermeticism and Kabbalah and has ended up saying it's all just esoteric Hinduism with Western dressing. Cringe. A cringe. That is cringe. For reals. Yeah. That's sad. Oh, well. But yeah, mad respect for Swami Vivekananda for actually understanding the Western mind. So I'm very sussy baka about Buddhism. I'm very suspicious about Western Buddhism. But Raja Yoga, and specifically the Ramakrishna mission, they ain't. Yes, he did, but it wasn't necessarily because he went to the East. It was because, you know, Shopi was a pessimist and was like, oh, life is cringe. And Nietzsche was basically like, you're cringe. Life is awesome. R.I.P. Nietzsche would have loved Alex Jones' rants. Now, White Lotus was so fucking interesting. And I wish I remembered who this fucking guy was. But I found a YouTube channel with like 2 fucking subscribers. And he made the fucking greatest deep dive video into like White Lotus and like going into the heaven and earth man cults and then going into modern Chinese Freemasonry. It was fucking sick. And I was like, this is awesome, but I didn't save it. And then I just forgot about it. And I was like, fuck. There's no way to find it again. Maybe I can find it again, but that guy, maybe I should just find him and shout him out or something. But that was sick. That was sick. And also, I got to say something about this. This to me, to anyone who's into cultivation slop, everyone's nowadays, they're all into their isekai slop or their Korean dungeon slop. But those OGs who are into our Chinese cultivation slop, our wuxia, this is something crazy. A conspiracy. After studying the White Lotus, I have a conspiracy theory about all wuxia. So we all know about Murim. The world of Murim is a large place. And, you know, you got your northern sects and you got your Tang clans and they always study poison. And you always got the Mount Hua with their cherry blossom plum styles, with their sword swings and whatever bullshit they have. But remember, there's always a demon cult. And what are the attributes of the demon cult? One of the things about the demon cult is, in almost all renditions, there's always this thing about them worshipping fire. And what's the thing about the White Lotus? Well, as I found out, it was a combination of Manichaean Gnosticism and Chinese Pure Land Buddhism. And what's Manichaean Gnosticism again? It's Persian Gnosticism. It's a fusion of Gnosticism with Zoroastrianism. What's Zoroastrianism all about again? What's Zoroastrianism about again? Something fire cult? Something universal fire? What's the thing about the demon cult? And it's just, I have this theory that the demon cult, the archetype of the demon cult in Wuxia and Cultivation stories is actually some weird echo memory in the universal mind of like, yeah, Asura worship, Persian Asura, Zoroastrian, Gnostic cults coming to the East. And that's what the demon cult represents in Chinese cultivation stories. It's a Persian fire cult, Gnostic, and they're Gnostics. All of these simpy, freaking Mount Hua, you know, working with the demiurge. Nah, demon cult is where it's at. Give me more nanomachines. Give me more demon cult stories. That's where it's at. That's the demon cult did nothing wrong. The demon cult did nothing wrong. Now this, hell yeah, hell yeah. Where's another guy? And that you get another guy in here. About an hour in. Where's my fucking light novel slop boy? Me and another guy. Because I can send you an OBS codec profile optimized for background, low FPS, high res recording. Your wish is to capture all you see on the internet, and then shall be granted if you will. Okay. Okay. Hit me up on Telegram, bro. You use Telegram? Yeah, just find my chat, and then I'm just Mr. Mysterion. DM me, bro. At Praise the Sun. Just mention that. Richard Ruck's Research Center on Telegram. There should be a link on. If just go to the YouTube channel, just go to my page, and there should be all my links there. Fire cult or solar cult? Which way, modern man? Yeah, fire cult. From the deep, ever upwards. That's what the demon cult is all about, baby. Let's go. So anyway, White Lotus, based. Yeah, and this is the weird one as well. Inglingi. I kept on saying that, but it turns out it's Yinglism. Yingli. You don't need to say Lingingi. That was such a fucking retarded thing. But this was actually quite interesting as well. And a lot of people do see it as a LARP. And I feel for the modern pagans. You know what I'm saying? I feel for my boys. I'm not like, you know, I got my DNA tested. I'm like, there was some Greek, like Etruscan, Mediterranean, and then it was just like all freaking Turkish, Iranian, North Indian. I'm like, I'm 70% that way. I'm barely Europe. I'm like 1% Polish, apparently. Like, I'm nothing. So I don't really have my skin in the game when it comes to European paganism, but I feel for the boys. I feel for your boys. And you know what? I feel for the English actually seemed kind of cool. I'll say it. They seemed kind of cool. They had some elaborate cosmology. I would like to see that they had more praxis, more internal alchemy in their style, but they had some interesting stuff. And it's like, it led me into this whole kind of, there's a schizo rabbit hole that I could have gone. I mentioned it about like Acrium or Archium, this kind of site that's like the birthing place of the Slavic people, and it's like got Zoroastrian aspects to it. It was really interesting and cool. There's some cool stuff. You know, we all think of like schizo posting, and we all like look at weird schizo stuff online, and you know, Tartarian, all that kind of stuff. But man, no one schizo posts like Eastern European men. Like, I swear to God, when an Eastern European man turns 40, it's like God descends and gives them like a book, and that book is their gospel of schizophrenia. And it's like, and it explains the world to them and how everything came into creation. And God himself is an Albanian, and that's all Albanian men are like that. All fucking Russians are like this. All freaking, all Poles are like this. They've always got some like weird schizo thing going for the ones that get into paganism, at least. And I'm here for it. I think you should LARP. I think we need more LARPing. People are like, oh, LARP cringe. But you know what? You're cringe because you're afraid to be authentic. You're afraid to try to act authentically because you think someone will look at you and see that you're not authentic and see through you. and you'll feel fake and you'll feel cringe. It's your own cringe holding you back. And those LARPers, it's only, when's it not a LARP? Huh? When's it not a LARP? When is it not a LARP, okay? When they take over, when it comes to, if they start having dreams, if they pray to gods every night and they start having dreams of those gods speaking to them, is that still a LARP? Are they still LARPing then? Shout out to Hyperborean Knowledge, exactly, based. My boy, get my boy in here. I'm out tuition. I'm 72% Norwegian. Oh, based. I once saw an Eastern Schizo video about how the USSR was Neo-Egypt. Based. Yes, exactly. The schizophrenia in Eastern European men is mwah. It's on another level. I swear to God, it's on another level. Like, you look at the videos of people being like, oh, aliens and channeling, and then you look at an Eastern European one and they're like, we found a girl frozen in a crystallized ice that was 1 million years old. And when she was taken to a secret military base, and when she woke up, she had things to say. And it's like, bro, what the fuck is this even? How do you even know this? And it's just like all AI footage and shit. It's like, mwah, mwah. It's on a different level. We are cringe, but we are free. Exactly. Civilizations are built by LARPers. Exactly. Vril Society still exists in the Ukraine as a Templar group. They worship Baphomet and call him Magna Figura. Okay. Sure, I'll get to that. Actually, maybe we'll just jump straight to that. So, Vril Society. Oh, wait just a second. World Andreev. Danny, I swear I've heard that name before. Fuck, where have I heard that name? Oh, actually, no, you know what? I think you guys told me about this and I looked it up in one of the past live streams and was like, man, this guy's crazy. All Bulgarians and Serbians after 30 arguing to each other that their countries are 30,000 years old and everything originates from there. Exactly. Mwah. Hold on, we're live right now? Yeah, exactly. Yes, we are, Bro Talon. Yes, we are. Now, what was I going to say? Yeah, Vril Society. So here's the thing about Vril Society. I just talk about it respectfully in the video, and then I have that Vril Society vid, standalone Vril Society vid, where I'm like not respectful at all. But I stand by everything I said. I've got nothing against super, Austrian painter super weapons and Austrian painter, weird secret societies in the Austrian painter time. But y'all have to understand, all this stuff about Vril maidens is a blind. Never happened. Where's the meme? It's a complete fabrication. Nada. We made it up. Like that, it's not a thing. What it is a bunch of dudes who are a part of the information community. They're spies and also occultists. And what do you do when you're a part of the information community? You cover your tracks. You make fucking shit like this, where it's about Aldebaran and stuff. And it's like, bro, the original Vril concept is about an underground race, not a fucking space race, bro. Robert Sefer is obsessed with Vril. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of people know about Vril now because of Robbie, but he doesn't want to admit it. Vril maidens are not a thing. They're not a thing. Never were. Maria Orsic is a fake person. It's a composite picture. It's not real. A lot of the Vril maiden pics are just random models. It's like, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. What is important is who's a member of the Vril Society besides the girls. Well, you would think Sebetendorf was, and this is the point I make in my Vril video. Look up Sebetendorf. He was a spy, and on his Wikipedia page, it says he died, after as the war was finishing in the 1940s by falling into a river. And it's like, okay, maybe he was offed, maybe he unalived himself, and then you look on German sources and you Google translate both Turkish and German websites. Bro was still alive in 1960s, 1970s. And what's the thing? Here's the thing that people forget about the Germans. in World War II, they put the Germans put a lot of stuff in South America. You know, there's a whole meme about Argentina. But people forget the Germans put a lot of effort into the Middle East as well. Like Iran, I met an Iranian guy, and I remember talking to him about stuff, and he started talking about how about being a little based, and he was saying like everyone in Iran reads the Protocols of Elder Zion, and they're all obsessed with kind of like Germany, and I was like, really? He's like, yeah, all of the train tracks, they're all there from like the 1940s. They were just laid. It's all German steel. You look at it, it's German steel. It's got German writing on it, and it's like there's all this infrastructure in Iran that's just German, because the Germans came in like the turn of the century and like just built all of this stuff for us, and we were like hella friends with them. And it's like, oh, what, Nick? Like, you know, oh, shit, I said the word again. But they were all, and I was like, oh shit, what? Like the Germans put a shit ton of effort into the East. And so here's the thing: if you're a part of the German spy network post-war, what are you going to do? You're going to willingly, obviously, be absorbed into the CIA. You know, all of the spy networks are going to want people are going to want to use you to spy on the Americans are going to want you to spy on the Russians, and the Russians are going to want you to spy on the Germans. So you're safe. You're safe, right? Here's the other thing. You can also just disappear into the Middle East, into the Arab nations. There's some fucking thing about, what was it? One of the money bankers for the Reich stuff just randomly appeared in Indonesia post-war, and like there's all this stuff about like all the gold in like one of the Filipino nations or something is all Nazi gold. There's all of this weird post-war lore that you just never hear about. And it's like if Sabetendorf, who was a Turkish, at one point friends with like the Turkish diplomat, could speak Turkish, founder of the Vril Society, you'd think he'd be a member of the Vril Society. After the war's finished, if you have evidence that he's alive into the 1960s, 1970s, where the fuck do you think the Vril Society is going to go? Oh, it's in the Ukraine. But, bruh, it's going to be in the Ukraine. It's going to be in there's going to be branches in Turkey. Shit's going to be all through the Middle East, dog. All through the Middle East are German cells. Vril Society cells. Like doing weird alchemical projects secretly, for real. And that's the real story, and that's the real thing that's interesting about the Vril Society. But that's the thing that no one fucking talks about. Why? Because, oh, Vril Maidens, Aldebaran star system. Oh, I'm cooming. The Vril Maidens, they're gonna bring the Aldebarans to us. My psychic powers, I'm growing my hair. That's what people are focusing on, instead of the ultra occult spy network that's survived World War II and is probably in the Middle East doing shit right now. In this day and age, what's been happening in the Middle East the last fucking 20 years? What? Shouldn't someone be doing something, getting into some? Anyway, this is my, and then people like, oh, you're against Vril Maiden, so you don't think that Austrian painter had super weapons? It's like, no, that's not even the fucking discussion. You donkey. Anyway, that's my fucking Vril rant for the night. You're saying the based society didn't have based voids channeling based spirits for based mustache man? Yeah, I'm committing the cardinal internet sin. Sorry, Robbie, but you're wrong. Underground Irish Fae-lore got me looking for Vril Maidens. I mean, underground Irish Fae-lore, that's where it's at. Then there's schizos out there talking about Vril worms that burrow into your brain. Tony, really? I haven't heard that one. That's funny. The Ukrainian ones might have ties to Ukrainian Freemasonry. Maybe. Hans Kamla is for real banging Vril Maidens underground. They have BBL. Wait, isn't a BBL big Brazilian booty? Or big Latina? What's BBL mean? What's the actual acronym? BBL, Urban Dictionary. Be back late. Fuck off. Brazilian butt lift. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought it was. They don't got that BBL. They got that VBL. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What are my thoughts on video game Drowned God? We're not talking about that, Rufus, right now. We're talking about this. I need to get through this entire thing. I'm over an hour in. A lot of Iranians seem pro-Israel. Some do. Yeah, sure. Yeah, some do. Some don't. They all got paperclipped to America. A lot did. Some didn't. Yeah, I can believe that. What about the Donmei? Where do they fit in? I'm sure they do fit in. You know, I'm not a freaking scholar, and I don't know enough about the Donmei. And it's so schizophrenic, the links. I'm just like, my brain dies. That would be an interesting study. That would be an interesting study. Post-war Otrag private rocketry did happen in North Africa and Middle East. Oh, really? German lads were cooking. Interesting. Vril Maiden's talking to me in meditation after 1,000 days on SR. It's an astral demon farm. Exactly. The Iraq War was weird because of the Babylonian connection. Yes. Brazilian butt lifts now. Oh, hey, Beal. How's it going? Welcome. Now, group, my boys. I got to do some more Julius Evola stuff on Telegram, but I've got life things happening at the moment. So, in fact, same with my Franz Baden reading group. I'm behind on everything. But Vril group, group, we need more. Everyone needs to read those books. And we need some Massimo Scaligeri translations. I'm still waiting. Vril Society talked about Order of the Knights Tyrodol. This was so schizophrenic, dog. This was so schizophrenic. Like, I make it sound schizo in the freaking video, but you guys have no idea how fucking, like, well, you look this shit up. And all of the offshoots as well. God, they're crazy. And it's crazy because they're also, like, I think they did some, you know how, like, people talk about high T civilizations and racially what race has the highest T, and apparently it's like Latina, like actually, was it South American guys have like the highest? You think it's going to be like black guys and like Asians on the bottom, but it's actually like South American men, just high T, just cooming, like the absolute tantric degenerates. That, like, any spirituality needs to somehow include either absolute chastity or you need to have tantra. Like, there's no in between with a South American man. If he speaks Spanish or Portuguese, he needs either he needs to be in a monastery and a vegetarian, or he needs to be gooning into the astral directly. Like, that's the only two forms of spirituality that those guys can do. I swear to God. I'm still surface level on Evola. I've yet to read more, but well. And look, I think his esoteric work is the thing that people should focus on. Like, hence why those introduction to magic books, they're not even him. They're his boys, and he's just the editor that's compiling all of their essays. But yeah, Octra. And this is the other thing, like Odin on Agarthan crack. Thulian agents in South America. I would love to get Jack Steele Barbarian and pick his brain on what the fuck that means. What do you mean? What do you mean? What does it mean? Evangelion Sealy was based on the Illuminati, and they have a Pythagorean theorem on their chairs. Really? Interesting. I've got to rewatch the series and check that out. And Prior of Sign, which I just think is gay because of Da Vinci Code. I just think it's gay. It's gay, bro. There's nothing interesting about it at all. No. Nah. It's just one of those wannabe Knights of Malta pseudo-Masonic orders. A bunch of people joined, probably donated a bunch of things to it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm very dismissive of it, and I was in the video, and I shall remain. Although I did love choosing, what is it, Torime? Like, loved my musical choices for that one. Gendo did everything wrong. Hey, That's my father of the year, okay? Now, part 3. Temple of Psychic Youth. I find like this guy, Genesis P. Orridge, the freaking founder. Can I just say this is the most British thing as well? The founder of the Temple of Psychic Youth is a dude, woman, trans person. The thing is, they did this in the 80s, so it was even before the modern trans movement. So I think they're just like their own thing. It's like they are in a category of their own. But Genesis P. Orridge, Porridge, it's a weird name that they gave themselves. I think a documentary was made about them. They're so weird. Sorry, is the Lisa Kovacs pentagram related to Group P? Lisa Kovacs? Who is das? Lisa Kovacs pentagram. Bruh. Oh. Ooh. In the huge pentagram in the Kazakh countryside. That is sexy. I don't know. We'll get to that when we get to that. Primordial trap. Yes. So Genesis Peorage was interesting. And they did like this chaos magic thing. A little bit of chaos magic, a little bit of Crowley. Fused it together into a system, practical system. Got a lot of people into it. But they started this band. Apparently they founded the genre of industrial music. And they had this band, and it's such a British name. Like, holy shit. The name of the band was Throbbing Gristle. I know you're like, what? Throbbing Gristle? If you know anything about British humor, that's so freaking British, man. That's like 3 Brits in a pub being like, let's call it Throbbing Gristle. It will be epic. Like, holy shit. And they founded industrial music. And you look at those, it's interesting. You look at like the YouTube videos of like there's people recording their sets, and their sets would be different every time. It's not like nowadays where everyone they sing the same song. You go to a Taylor Swift concert and you know what you're getting. It's like, no, every single set was completely fucking random. They'd like have random power tools, or they just start destroying something on stage and try and make it musical. It was absolutely fucking outrageous. Experimental music in the extreme. The most British fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. Kind of respect. In a weird deconstruction of art kind of way. I almost feel like giving respect. But then like the magic system I was just kind of nonplussed about. I was like, yeah. Just a little magic ATM. And then of course the OTO. I handmade some fucking memes for this. When I did the OTO, there's like an OTO iceberg, and I made that. I was the one that made that. I made that iceberg specifically for that video, then just posted around the place just as like a psyop for it to come around. But yeah, there's some interesting OTO conspiracies. Turns out, like, was it Motta, one of the South American OTO guys, big OTO guys, having a penis enlarging spell, and there was some OTO in fucking Europe being an Israeli spy network, and it was so fucking weird. Some of the schizo posting about OTO was like very interesting. Very interesting. Like some of the deep dive stuff was very interesting. But on the surface, it's just fucking OTO. It's just OTO stuff, dog. It's nothing special. British OTO must use crumpets of light and yes. I mean, the British OTO is basically the Tiffonian OTO, because Kenneth Grant was I think Kenneth Grant was the like district, was it X 10th degree in Britain at the time, and just him and Kyle Germer just had a fucking meltdown falling out, and that's why he left and founded the Tiffonian OTO. But yes. Eris Chan, I feel like I could have gone derper. I've never read the Principia Mathematica. And there was also some stuff about the Church of the Subgenius, which I'm like, I could have probably gone more into the stuff about Fnord. Would have been more interesting as well. But all in all, it is what it is, and it's interesting. Eris Chan. I almost feel like Discordians should just... Do Discordians use Discord? I didn't mention this in the video, but it's only in retrospects that I'm like... Because nowadays, you know, Gen Alpha, when they talk to each other, they ask each other, you know, you got Instagram, or do you got Snapchat? Or are you a Discordian? Like, I didn't know they all call each other Discordians. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is it that big? And then I was like, oh no, it's the fucking app. Everyone uses Discord to play fucking Roblox. So of course they... And it's like, are you on Discord? Are you Discordian? And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, do Discordians, Eris Chan Discordians, do they use Discord? Are there fucking Principia Mathematica reading groups on Discord? Like, because I don't, yeah, I'm not a big Discord user. I fucking hate Discord, but I didn't think of that. I didn't think to put that in the video. So that's another place. It's another thing I missed out on. Also, OTO, I fucking loved using the Two Girls, One Cup music for Aleister Crowley's poem. That was my little enjoyment when I was making that. I enjoyed that. Is Bob from Subgenius an egregor? Yeah, but the Subgenius, Church of the Subgenius just seems to have, it seems to be dead. It's a dead egregor. Jay-Z mentions Bob. Really? Jay-Z's weird. Jay-Z's got some weird occult stuff. In one of Jay-Z's music video, he has Franz Hartmann's book, Magic Black and White, on his desk, on a table somewhere. It's like, what's going on here? Jay-Z, what's going on here? Because there are a lot of famous people who pose to be esoteric are just that, posers. But yeah, I hear weird things about Jay-Z in particular. And then it's like, you know, people keep mentioning shit like this, like Bob in his song Lucifer. Really? He's got a song called Lucifer. Discord is for sussy buckers. Indeed. Yeah, maybe Discordians don't like it then. But yeah. Anyway, the CCRU crew. This was kind of... once again, I'm not like a big crew head. I'm not a big Nick Land fan, so I tried doing the best I could with that one. I think people kind of likes, you know, put some sad music over Mark Fisher. I got to use did a Lane joke in there. Talked about Sadie Plant's cyber feminism. It was just kind of a bit of a routine one. Muslim Brotherhood. This shit here is mysterious. So for Muslim Brotherhood, and this is another thing, Jack Steel Barbarian, get back to me on this, bro. What the fuck is lit? So this is clearly a 4chan post in lit. I can't find this. I don't know what this is referring to. This is clearly a post made on the literature board. What is it about? And then it says like Gunon rap. I have the music playing, and you can actually see this in the video. In the video, the music playing is called Gunon Rap, and on YouTube there's a guy who wrote a song called Gunon Rap, and I just used that, and the maker who made that song was like, holy shit, this is my song, and I'm like talking to him in the comments, and we're talking about it, like, because I have no idea. I was like, so why'd you call it Gunon Rap? And he's like, oh, it was just a kind of a name I knew from some friends. It had no bearing. Rene Gunon's philosophy had no bearing whatsoever on the song, and he was like, what's going on? And it's like, me and him, because he also just said like randomly his video would just get views out of nowhere, and then it would kind of subside, and then every now and then it would get views, and I'm like, maybe like correlate the dates of the publication of my video and like when you last got a bunch of views, maybe you'll see. And it's like, oh yeah, and he's like, I think so, man, I think so. But we kind of came to the understanding that there is a Gunon rap that is lost media. So, and this is why I want Jack Steel Barbarian, where are you, bro? Answer my questions. Answer my DMs, bro. I think that there's a Gunon rap that's lost media. And this other guy's Gunon rap just happens to be the thing there, that something he published. And so because that's that people are looking for the original that's lost media, they just find his and they just use it like I did. But yeah, it's just so fucking weird. So I have no idea what Jack Steel Barbarian is referencing, and why does he put the Muslim Brotherhood? I guess pro-demia because they're Islam. I get, but why they left-hand path? what black magic are they doing? Like, this was a weird placement. And once again, in the video, it's like, how do I make this esoteric? Like, the only thing I could do is kind of just go, oh, Albana. Like, I looked up Albana and I tried to find some things. And once again, it's like the closest thing, because it mentions Gunan. I was like, yeah, I went through the Sufi route because Albana did. Apparently, he was a Sufi in his youth. And I was like, okay, there's some weird, very tentative connection between Albana and Gunan. Maybe they were part of the same Sufi group. And I just fucking ran with it and started talking about Gunan for the rest of it. That's all I could do. That's all I could do. So I'm just looking at the chat. Gunan, this is actually fascinating. We're uncovering things here. Yes, Gunan rap, lost media, 4chan creepypasta. Bruh. What do you think about Brazilian spirits? They follow Allan Kardec and apparently influence the logo for the Rio event. Okay. Allan Kardec seems interesting, but once again, that's another thing I need to study. I need to look up old Allan. Boy, there's some very interesting things in Brazil. Some very interesting things. Post-World War II notwithstanding. Also, one random thing about Brazil, not just about the Kimbaba and all of the native voodoo, and it then mixes with the Catholicism and the esotericism and the weird esoteric lodges that go there and how they're disconnected from mainline stuff like FRA and OTO and the weird Gnostic communities in Brazil. And then you got Allan Kardec and all of this spiritism going around there. The weirdest thing that I find about Brazil is rune magic and tarot. So two weird things. One is when you look into rune magic, so there's Guido van List kind of reinvigorates German paganism and restarts the Rune Guild. After him, this guy called Siegfried Arnaldo Kummer makes a rune magic book, and that's practical. It uses like the Grail, uses hand signs. He has one with like body postures, and it's all like energy working. It's fucking sick. It's awesome. He was against the Nazis. So Karl Willigertz was the Nazi rune master, and he was like enemies with this fucking Siegfried guy. And when you look up what happened to Siegfried just skipped Germany. As soon as the Nazis got to power, he was like, peace. Like, what's the meme where the guy's like, and then he just fades out? Like, that's basically what he did. And where he went was Brazil. But he went to Brazil, and all information about this rune master disappears off the face of the planet. And I'm like, what? So some German rune master, like heir to Guido von List's Rune Guild, just went to Brazil. And then there's the fucking tarot thing. For people who know about the meditations of the tarot and they know about, what is it, the Meebs tarot book, this may just be weird for you. This may just sound weird, but there's this book. It's published now. We have it now, but it was a lost tarot book. So in Meditations of the Tarot, he mentions two books. He mentions, was it the Tarot by Monu Sadhu, which was a very briefly published book in the 70s. It became very rare. It's been recently republished by John Michael Greer. Shout out John Michael Greer, the Giga Chad. So you can get it now, but at one point in time, it was like impossible to get, and you'd see like copies on Amazon going for $150. But Monu Sadhu based his book off of another tarot book, the Meebs tarot book, and this tarot book was like some tome of like esoteric, and who it's written by was a guy called Geo M. Meebs. It was something like Gregory Ottovic Meebs. Basically, in Russia, the Rosicrucian Society in St. Petersburg, the invisible head adept of the Rosicrucian Society in St. Petersburg was the professor of mathematics of the University of St. Petersburg, this guy, Otto von Meebs, and there was this Rosicrucian school there. When the Iron Curtain came down, they were all killed, and all of his works were burnt. So his book was lost, and we only have references about it. So we have Monu Sadhu read it and kind of based the framework of his tarot book off of it. And then also the guy who wrote Meditation of the Tarot read it, and also Monu Sadhu. So he references it. So there's this reference of this tarot book that was just lost. It was lost media for years. Turns out 2 women from his group left Russia before the Iron Curtain came down, and they had a copy of his book. And where did they go? Motherfucking Brazil. And they had a little group there, and Brazilian copies of Geomede's tarot book were passed around, and a Brazilian copy, like a Portuguese copy, was found and translated into English. So you can get it now. Tarot Majors by Geomebs, or whatever his name is. And it's weird. It's kind of weird to read because it's like from Russian to Portuguese to English. But it's like, that's so fucking weird that it's Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Like Rune Master, delete, but he went to Brazil. Tarot from the fucking Rosicrucians in St. Petersburg ends up coming out of Brazil. What the fuck's with Brazil, dog? What the fuck? There is like an esoteric world just in Brazil. And they're keeping them oppressed. Brazilians are the most oppressed people. We need to fight back. Straight from the favelas, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of people in my Martinist order are Brazilian immigrants. That's interesting. Yeah. It wasn't a crossover. It was just one thing about runes and one thing about tarot, both being connected with Brazil. That just always kind of like, the Brazil link is just weird. Like, why Brazil? Why not Argentina? Why not fucking Spain or something? Apparently, after World War I, a lot of Martinists fled to Brazil. Oh, really? Mengele, who was one of the main Austrian painter eugenicists, died in Brazil. Yeah, they say, yeah, I know that. Everyone knows that stuff. He listened to the meme, come to Brazil. Brazilian WhatsApp magicians each have their own take on Goetia. Do you know who? No, I don't. Had Meade's writings, and she initiated Tomberg in the Estonian refugee camp. And yeah, the Brazil connection. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's up, Nulu. You know what's up. You know what's up. Now, Muslim Brotherhood. Yeah, we got sidetracked. Temple of Blood, absolute fucking cringe. I don't even want to think about these people again. And these are these pure feds. Pure feds. Chabad Lubavitch. I kind of didn't want to learn more about them. No offense, actually. Besides the schizo theories of, like, you know, things that come with schizo theories that involve Jews, it all seemed major fucking boring because it was either about money or about fraud or human trafficking. And no offense, but where's the esoteric? And anything that strived to become esoteric just made them to be like Satanists. And it's like, where's the Kabbalistic rituals? And it's like, apparently they're based off of Lurianic Kabbalah. And I'm like, okay, cool. What does that imply? What do you do? Do they do rituals? And it's like, I couldn't find anything that didn't immediately go full schizo and become retarded. So I was just like, I just couldn't be fucked, dog. I couldn't be fucked. So I just made something kind of funny and just left it at that. Temple of Set. I think I got more respect for them studying these guys. I would never join Temple of Set, and I think they are cringe. I kind of, you know, I don't think Temple of Set's good. I think I kind of respect Aquino, but also I don't. Because here's the thing, Zena LaVey and Nicholas Roque are way fucking more impressive as occultists than Aquino. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's not total cringe. I thought it was going to be total cringe. This is the thing that impressed me. I thought Temple of Set was going to be total cringe, but it wasn't. It was surprisingly esoteric. And it seemed, I can get why people look at Aquino and go, oh, actually, he did have something going for him. But then you contrast him with like Zena and fucking Roic. What's his name? Nicholas. oh, what's the fucking that guy's last name anyway? The werewolf dude. And it's just like they mog him completely. Aquino gets mogged hard by fucking Xena and Nicholas. They just mog him completely into oblivion. Like, you don't need to read any Aquino. It's not required reading at all. Just read Nick and fucking Xena. They've got a book called like Demons of the Flesh, and it's just like if you are a left-hand path practitioner, that's like the only book you need apparently. That's funny. Quino's greatest esoteric accomplishment was the spell he did for his fucking eye. That's hilarious. By the way, I asked this a while ago, but my computer croaked and I lost the note. What's the recommended reading to get meditations on the tarot? Oh, yeah, because he goes into a lot of the French tradition. So it's kind of like read some Eliphas Levi, like History of Magic, Transcendental Magic. What was the other fucking stuff? Because he mentions Evola, he mentions Gunon. Maybe, it's kind of things that help because concepts that he breaches into. But it's like now I'm just kind of like, now, when I look at it in retrospect, I'm kind of like, reading Levi may help. Maybe some Papoose. Read a Papoos's book on the tarot as well. But like, I think you just kind of got to go balls deep. I'm kind of like that now. I think reading other esoteric things that are tangential, like maybe reading Franz Barden could help as well. It's just he just goes balls deep, baby. And he just doesn't stop. Just Tomberg and he lays you. It's such a good read. He lays you down on a bed of roses. There's like music playing in the background, and he uses lubricant, but not too much. Just, so you feel that first push, and you're like, whoa! It's like knowledge you've just never expected to come. Just inserts directly into your mind. But it's one of those things. Like, I hadn't read Henry Bergson before reading Tomberg, but like probably reading Henry Bergson would help, especially with some of the later chapters. What the fuck's happening outside? Anyway, do you know about Society of the Green Dragon? Before Robert Seffer, people knew about it from the fucking online stuff. Is it the Green Dragon and the man with the green gloves and the whole Tibetan Austrian painted connection? Yeah. I don't know anything more than other people. So it's not really a point of interest. It's more of a dead end than anything. Anyway, #Galactic Command. I stand by everything I say. Also, fucking the song I choose for that, Star Child, absolutely rooted me via copyright. It was like that one, and of course the Jewish folk song, which I was like, it's a folk song, it's not going to be copyrighted. It was copyrighted. It was copyrighted. Those two songs got me fucking copyrighted. But then again, what songs would I have used? What would I have used for Galactic Command? Oh, maybe like it would have been copyrighted as well, but I could have used Spaceman. I always wanted you to go. Like that song, I could have used that. I could have used that for Galactic Command. That would have been cool. But yeah, Galactic Command, pure cringe, pure channeled slop. And like, I found some fucking great, thumbnails of fucking videos. But I think, because there was a bunch of different Galactic Command YouTube channels, and I think one of them got taken down, and that was one that had fucking epic. They had some of the, like, I found ones that were kind of good, but the ones that I remembered from that one channel, it was like, Ashtar leading Joe Biden away in chains, and Joe Biden's crying, and it's just like, bro, they were like next level, like, mwah. It was, they were so fucking bad. It was amazing. And I didn't save any of them. I was like, oh, this is great. I'll come back here. I'll come back to this later. Never fucking did. Got fucking deleted. So there's still some Ashtar Galactic channels out there, but I think they're more moderate on their thumbnails. Well, I say moderate, but you can check out and you can definitely see some cringe. But they're just cringe. They're not like, The ones that I remember was the cringe. There's a point where the cringe scale just goes so high, it bends back on itself, and it actually like you're like alas, is my name tough? Misanthropos? No. Now, part 4, Fraternity of Saturn. What do I regret? No regrets. I think Fraternity of Saturn was good. I enjoyed the music. One of my favorite modern songs as well. Obod, the music, yeah. I wish I could use, there was like some gnome music that was like meme music, but it was copyrighted. I was like, fuck. Now, do you like the works of Nameless therein and Richard Malt? Whomst are these? Nameless therein? Did you mean to spell therein? Oh, fuck. I don't know what this is. Nameless therein. Discography. Hello. Nah, looks cringe. And who was the other person? Richard Malt. Ricky Dick Malt. Ooh. 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 So I'm just looking at this. English composer and painter. Let me see. Images. He's got cool style. I can dig it. I'll check him out later. But no, I don't know who them are. Now, Group E. This is one where I think I kind of fumbled because I got hooked into the SCP line. And I don't know what this fucking Russian says. I was like, I'm not going to translate. I don't give a fuck. But it seemed to me that he was definitely going SCP. Jack Steely Boy was, but I had already recorded it when I kind of found like the GRU does have a real world equivalent, and I could have taken this into another direction. I could have gone into, it's actually a reference to the Russian equivalent of Project Stargate. And then like talked about that stuff and how the Russians were all occultists, even though it seems that communism were materialists. They actually were very esoteric and all of these weird things I could have like kind of dived into. Pardon me. But instead I just kind of got sidetracked into the SCP thing, and then just kind of became a bit too long and I just stopped it there. But I was like, Nicholas Schreck, thank you. But yeah, I was like, man. So I kind of cringe when I watch part 4 myself and I get to the Group E part. I'm like, no. I keep calling it Group E as well. Apparently it's GRU Division P, and that's just how you say it. But I didn't know, so I'm just like, Group E. Get the groupies going, guys. And I'm just like, whatever. Theosophy Society. I stand by everything I said. Everyone like hammers the Theosophy Society, and I'm like, yo, let me defend. Madame Blavatsky isn't that bad. And here's the thing, most people haven't read Madame Blavatsky. Most people have read Besant and Leadbeater, and all of the criticism that you hear about Theosophists being like, they just make stuff up. There's no footnotes. They're just crazy. And it's like, that's fucking Annie Besant. That's fucking Charles Leadbeater. Those guys are cringe. Blavatsky, she was a Virgo. No, sorry, she was a Leo, but her Mercury was in Virgo. She footnoted tons of stuff. She did do a little bit of the old Kabbalah is actually ancient Chaldean. I know this because I've read the Chaldean Book of Numbers, which doesn't exist as a book. There's only 2 manuscripts in the world, one of which I had access to in a Russian archive because I knew a guy. Source, trust me, bro. She does do that, but she also legitimately footnotes some actual books like this. I mean, nowadays it would be hard to find those books because they're probably all like out of publication. But she's fucking solid. Besides her little, playing games with freaking channeling masters and, I materialized a letter. Trust me, bro. It's kind of like, just go with the content, dog. Just go with the content. go with the teachings, look behind the massive fucking look behind the pomp and pageantry and see the ooey gooey esoteric center. And there's some good stuff in Blavatsky. She influenced so many people, and in a good way. I think there's some, and I think her project inherently has some value to it. It's just a shame that it got taken up by fucking Leadbeater and Besant, and they fumbled the bag, so to speak, and everyone of value basically just left the Theosophical Society. Steiner left, fucking how Percival left, Quan Judge left. Motherfucker, my camera. Why are you gay? And it's like, yeah. So I feel bad for Blavatsky, and I think the Theosophical Society is a modern institution. It's just a center. There's nothing evil or wrong about it. Just go, talk to them, be nice, have a cup of tea, sit in on a lecture, offer to give a lecture. I think they're positive. Pardon me. I think they're a positive aspect of the Western tradition. I know some people see them as subversive. And because, like, then Alice Bailey, you know, has this whole kind of weird thing with the UN. They use her prayer, their universal prayer, is from Alice Bailey's. And it's like, Alice Bailey was her own thing. Yeah, she was trained by the Theosophists, but she did her own thing. It's not Blavatsky. But anyway, and there's an esoteric center of the Theosophical Society, but they don't really do anything besides Raja Yoga. So you may as well just study Vivekananda if you want practice, but meh. Source, cryptic symbolism in my dream. Exactly. Theosophical Society was once interested in, but they ask for like 150 euros a year. Damn, really? For me, it's like, actually, how much do they cost? It's about $80 or something. I was a member because I used to give public lectures there, and if you are a member, you get to use their insurance. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Hashtag Elected Command connected to the Mormons. I don't know. Maybe some weird, crazy Mormon offshoot. True, Rufus. True. Except for Gurdjieff. He's just good at fleecing people. Random question, Rich. I've been meaning to ask, what do you think about Miguel Serrano? I would love to read Miguel Serrano. Specifically, I want to read the Nos Resurrection book. It looks really interesting. And he seems to be an actual Chad in esoterically. Like, he seems to be excellent and solid. He may have some hang-ups with, like, Christianity, but that's about it. He's seemingly has some really interesting stuff. And I would love to read it. I just haven't gone around to it. Meh. Martinists. I feel bad for Martinists because they don't have the Arcanum Arcanorum. Whatever their secret teaching was just lost. For those who don't know, French Revolution is a son of a bitch. And yeah, their teachings are lost forever. They do have their rituals. They do have some original rituals. All of their lineages are somewhat dubious, but nonetheless, it seems to be a system that then gets filled out with other things. However, I'd say it's a solid school. It's just whatever their Arcanum Arcanorum is, it's not the fucking original one. That's for sure. But at the same time, if you've got nothing and there's a Martinist school around, check them out. Check them out. You're going to develop yourself. You don't know everything that they know. Just because I say, oh, Richard said they're missing their very highest teaching. Yeah, but are you even up to the level of their lowest teaching? That's what you should be asking yourself. And there's some good shit there. I've read, what is it? Louis Claude Saint Martin. There's a biography Arthur Edward White wrote about him called The Unknown Philosopher. That's actually genuinely good. And like shows how kind of based their cosmology, and there's some real interesting stuff in Martinism. So as a world, as something to sink your teeth into, I actually think it's really good. I actually think it's really good. Martinists are a positive to the world. It's a bit rare, I find. Medium rare. I think I would like to see more Martinism. I think Martinism is good. It's more on the mysticism side, whereas Golden Dawn, I'd say, is like pure magic. Martinism is very more to the mysticism, but then again, it depends, because then I've seen some lodges where they're like, yeah, we're going to use the Ars Goetia. Or it's not the Ars Goetia, what's the fucking Ars Notoria? We're going to use the Ars Notoria, or we're going to summon these angels, or we're going to do the freaking all 72 Shem angels. And it's like, really? You guys do this shit? Okay. So sometimes they get very theurgic, but fundamentally, it's all about reintegration of being. French Revolution. Wait, what's that say? I like how Serrano says non-whites don't have a real soul, but an artificial one from the demiurge. Interesting. I'm kind of with Gurdjieff. I don't think anyone has any soul of substance. We're all working off the shared causal body of humanity. And if you want to be an individual, you have to crystallize your own individual causal body. Golden Dawn is for nerds. Hey, man. Fuck you. I like Golden Dawn. I want to do Paul Ranner's order makes you do magic Eulis Cohen first instead of mysticism, then do mysticism last. That's cool. I actually think that's the way to learn, because magic is more operative, and you just kind of get used to operative, and you do it, and you get some practical stuff out of it, but then you reach the limit, and then it's like where the lower self reaches its limit, that's where the higher self can come in and reach down, and it just naturally occultists will become mystics over time. And so to actually teach in that way, I'm like, yeah, that's based. That's based. Abased. Very based, Nulu. Very based. That's funny. Nah, not really. They don't make you learn Ethiopian until last. I'd say some of it's maybe a bit bloated, but once again, get Circles of Power by John Michael Greer, dog, and just work through the practical side of the curriculum. Or if you've got the Golden Dawn, the freaking Israel Regardie green brick or black brick or whatever it's called, just work through like the temple lectures. Pardon me. Whew, getting late. Almost 2 hours in, balls deep. God damn. But yeah, no, Golden Dawn also solid. I would join the Golden Dawn. Actually, I kind of did at one point, but then I didn't. I ducked my fucking initiation. I didn't go. I was a no-show. Man, I just don't have time, man. I don't have time. There was time now. There was never any time. Alas, alas. I wonder, just a second. Can I put... I really wish StreamYard let me put the circle on the other side. Oh, well. So bottom one's Chaldea. Once again, I mentioned it in the video, but holy shit, I was so fucking mad when I found out this was a joke entry. Oh, son. I was so mad. So mad. Moving on. I'm like never gonna watch Fate now, just like out of revenge. But I might watch Fate Zero. I kind of want to watch just Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero, just to see what maybe Unlimited Blade Works, just to see what the fuss is about, and then just never watch anything after that. Anyway, UGLE, Freemasons. I think they get a bad rap. I'm gonna be a Freemason apologist to you all now. Freemasonry is a good thing. Screw all y'all. And the Jesuits. I actually quite liked that song I got for the Jesuits. I'm so proud of finding that. And I'm so happy using that because I know it makes them mad. Any Catholic watching that and then some Protestant ass song comes on for the Jesuits. Oh, hilarious. I make myself laugh first before I make anyone else laugh. I loved it. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed making it. It helped me become a better editor. And I think this meme deserved it. I think this meme deserved someone better than me making a fucking series about it. But in the end, I'm not the dad. I'm the stepdad that stepped up. You know, whatever that fucking shirt says. And I'm glad I did it. Freemasonry seems like the Reddit of spirituality. Nah, it's not the Reddit. It's Reddit. Freemasonry is the Facebook of spirituality. There's too many boomers in fucking Freemasonry for it to be Reddit. Reddit is the spirituality. Yes, Nulu, exactly. Sorry, let me put this back up now. Pop. Yeah. But yeah, that was my overall thoughts, my deep thoughts. My deep thoughts on this image. In my opinion, this is the greatest occult meme that's ever been made, and I don't think anyone anytime soon is going to match it. It's just mwah, mwah. RIP to the Political Compass Ultra video. At least we've got all 4 parts now. It's a great conclusion. And tell me, guys, what do you think? What do y'all think I should do next? Is there any meme you would recommend me to review after this? Any meme you want turned into a video? Help a brother out. Rip in peace. What? Iceberg. Which iceberg, though? Mr. Oreo. Send your suggestions to the Telegram. You can find me on Telegram. Advanced Esoteric. Advanced. It's called Richard Ruick's Research Center, but I think on it. Get back to me. Thank you, Artuition. Yeah. Where should we go next with the channel? Because this really made my channel. In the end. I mean, this and that one video on like 4chan's psychic fucking development project. But that video and this meme series really made my channel. So how can I milk this more? How can I milk this more, guys? Icebergs are cool. Which iceberg? Send me some icebergs. And I'll check them out. Chicky boom boom. But yeah. Thank you for hanging out, guys. The fuck is that? Oh, the cat. Okay. I'll wait, let me go big pee-pee. No. Oh, I could have been down here all along. Anyway, big pee-pee. There's so much slop to be mined. There is so much slop. Love the series. Wild that the IoT didn't make OP's board. What? What's the IoT? Maybe you're reviewing. Yeah, okay. You know what? I was thinking about that. I was thinking of doing maybe we'll hop on StreamYard and I'll do a video like, go our occult on Reddit. Let's critique them. That'd be funny. Maybe we'll do some videos like that. Yeah, like making a video about each country's esoteric cults. Okay. The thing is, like, I got to study for that, and I don't know much. I'm just a guy who likes memes. Lots of slop on there these days. Yeah. Anyway. Thank y'all. Where's my outro music? Where's my theme music?